All right, in this episode, we're talking about how you can tell if your injection molders are staying up to date on industry standards, or if, again, I visited a lot of injection molders before we found you. Sometimes the facilities were, frankly, much, much nicer, and sometimes they were much, much worse.
Yeah.
But I would say overall, when you go into an injection molding plant, it's very similar to our warehouse, and like you could tell where the original building was, and then there's an add-on, and that like they're labyrinths of people adding on to buildings all over the place, and sometimes I feel like the building started out as a new structure, and sometimes this was a purpose-built building for the injection molders, which has nothing to do with the quality of the molder or the equipment or the parts coming out of it. It's just, all I'm saying is when you go, aside from the machines and the staff and the workers, there's all this stuff that on surface level is a very industrial, blue-collar situation, and from the outside, you don't know how to judge it. I think what we're trying to explore today is you explaining to people, if you are going out and looking at molders or have an ongoing relationship, for instance, hey, our big press is down, it'll be down for 4 weeks, and then they get up and running. Hey, our big press is down. Like, to me, that's the bad sign to look at things, but I'm sure you have other things to look for.
I think the best way to know if your molder's going to be up to speed is go check their LinkedIn. I know it sounds silly, but
Oh, man.
I know it.
I don't like this.
I know it. I know it. But you're going to see these, because a lot of the best practices, you're going to see these conferences that people attend, and for injection molding, every industry probably has their own, but injection molding, it's called MAP, and that's where all these, anybody that has anything to do with plastic, every year they go to this conference, they learn about what's going on in the industry, anything from economics to technology.
I can always tell when you went to one. You come back very excited.
I don't know. It's good. It's good to go see and like understand like where we're at compared to everybody else in the United States. So, but they'll talk over anything from global economics to global affairs, and it all affects our industry, right? So
in one of the episodes, you talk about how small of a world the injection molding is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you go to these places and see the same people over and over again, and everybody kind of knows everybody, from the suppliers to the molders. But you think at everything that's being made right now,
Mm-hmm.
And exclude overseas, everything that's being made in the United States, it's such an amount of goods coming out of it.
It's funny. I'll have
from such a small group of people.
I'll be talking to somebody about that's in the industry, and I'll describe a product that we're producing, and I've done it to people too, and it's like, oh, you're making that one? Like, damn, I've been trying to get that one for so long.
It's wild. I mean, in some of the plants I've gone into, I'm like, I know where that's from. I mean, you recognize where that's from, and just seeing it behind the scenes, I don't know. We talk about how monotonous injection molding can be, and that those are some of the fun moments.
Yeah. But as far as like best practice, people, you should be up to date. They should be telling you about the new improvements that could be coming out. Usually it's automation in the plant. It's exciting to talk about, but best practices and just making sure that it might be good to start doing once you're established with the molder, maybe a quick audit every 12 to 18 months. That doesn't mean you go in and it's a full day ordeal. You just go in, ask some leading questions, say, hey, how's your quality control doing? What are your statistics right now? What kind of scrap rate are you running?
Can I say that one good thing about that's an easy tell is, and one that I've commented on and have congratulated you on, is very, very low turnover. Forget the equipment, but low turnover of the employees, especially with quality control.
That's always a good. If you're seeing new people every time you go into that plant, could be a good indication that things aren't going great. Granted, if maybe new ownership came in, they're kind of cleaning house, building a different culture, that's all understandable. But if you're walking in every time...
But it's good to have a heads up on that.
Well, yeah, you should know that. And I would hope that would be relayed to you, but no, I think just a touch base every year to year and a half, and just ask those questions about quality. Scrap rate's a good indication as well. Hey, what are you guys running your scrap rates at right now? If it's above 4%, why? What? you ask those questions. Why is it something, maybe it's something you can help out with. Maybe they're scrapping stuff that doesn't need to be scrapped. That should be run to run. I've had those, how many times we've talked about being on FaceTimes. Hey, is this gonna be okay? Is this not? You get a new person in and they just see one little speck that nobody else can see, but they've just got freaking eagle eyes and they're just throwing it away.
And everybody sees things different, and
Absolutely.
and just know that if you're selling direct to consumer.
White is white to me.
Yeah.
It's
amazing to me how we'll sell 100,000 of something and one person says how absolutely wrong something is. I'm like, but this was their first order.
Yeah.
And they just started in this hobby.
I don't like this white. It doesn't really look white. It looks more cream to me.
Sorry you feel that way.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, it's one thing I don't take home is colors with my wife, because it's just.
Yeah, we all know
Yeah.
that
I don't do colors. Or if I have done this, if my customer has a question about a color, I'll literally give them my wife's cell phone number, just be like, text her and talk to her about it, because I don't want to deal with that. I'll be wrong. No matter what answer I give them, it's wrong.
But I've also talked to your color specialist. I mean, we've had a couple of dinners. I mean, and they can go on and on about it.
Yeah, that's why I bring them to dinners.
Yeah. How about if you go in? I know for me now, being around it for so long, if I see a lack of automation, that's a sign that there could be.
Yeah, maybe they just like not having automation.
I look at that as
they're behind the eight ball.
They're not investing into their own business, and how much is that affecting my part because of hands-on labor?
Or it could be they invested in more capacity before they did automation. So automation is just an efficiency. If you add capacity, that's cash flow, right? So if you're investing in something that can make more of something, they're gonna.
I still go back to the labor. These parts have to come off.
Agreed.
The bin.
Agreed. But now that once they replace that labor with automation, now they've quoted it out with all labor.
Now you got people standing around.
Well, no, because they've added more machines. So that's usually what'll happen. It's like, hey, do we bring in more labor or do we bring in more automation? Now, automation to me is a good indication that they are looking out for their business, because it does help quality, because there's less touches, and it can create more consistency on the cycle time too. So if you've got somebody pulling a part out every time with their hands, that cycle isn't always the same. When you have a robot coming in, because you don't have to stop the machine when you're opening a part, because there's safety measurements of if you open that door, that machine's done until you close it again.
One other thing, like if I had to start over and go validate injection molders, I would for sure look at material handling and their own warehousing capacity. In that, we're
huge.
We're ordering truckloads of stuff at a time, and so if I go in and there's no place for us to front load 4, 5, 6, 8 trucks, and it's coming into the busy season and we're dropping PO after PO, where are you guys going to put it? Are you going to ship it in time? Or do you have that capacity? You may have machine capacity, but do you have a place to store it and give us a little bit of flexibility to work in our warehouse?
Yeah. I think warehouse is such a big plus. It's such a big bonus for molders. And if you are a molder and you don't have warehouse space, I don't know how you do it.
I'm also concerned with, we talked about in another episode, you put a part in and it's still cooling off, but now it's in a box. Now you have a warm box going into a frigid northern climate, non-insulated warehouse. How's that going to affect the shrink rate?
We'll find out when we open the box.
I don't like that.
Yeah. No, I've unfortunately ran into that quite a bit. Also be aware of your part. Like, your parts are just naturally conducive to automation. I mean, you can stack them. They're very stackable. It's great. You can put hundreds on a conveyor belt. If you're in that situation, probably look for somebody with automation. Otherwise, if you're making just a little part that can just drop out of the machine and then go up a big conveyor and just drop into a box, you don't care, right? But just know you're not going to know it if you don't know manufacturing.
It's something to discuss.
It's something to discuss. It's something for your salesperson to discuss with you.
It also may come into, how does this need to be packed? If it can be bulk packed in a single box with hardly any protection, it drops right in, it's ready to go.
We've got parts that literally just drop off the conveyor, and you've got a little counter that the box sits on, and it's weighed out, so it knows when one part drops in, It'll tell you one part drops in. If 8 parts drop in, it goes up to 9. And so there's just your quality checks, and then somebody just closing a box and putting it on a pallet.
How about the ability to service your molds in-house? And let's talk about servicing the molds for a second, and then talk about servicing in-house versus having to send it out, and where you would do both. So a mold comes off the machine, off of a run. It has to get lubed. It has to get cleaned. It has to get inspected.
Yeah.
There's springs involved. There's O-rings and gaskets that need to be taken a look at for the cooling lines. The ability for that to stay in-house without having to get crated up, shipped, third party, is it going to get lost?
If they don't have that ability to just do simple cleaning and even small repairs, I don't know that those people are still in business. It's too expensive to send it out every time. So yeah, if they can't do that, if you ask that question and they say, no, we always send it out, that means one, they're probably not doing their checks often enough.
I also want to know where that is getting shipped. Is that across the country or across
Right.
the street?
Or, and the other thing, how much do you charge me every time you do that? Because I know it's being charged. Or is it built into the price? And if you're okay with the price, then that's one thing. But I don't want to get a check every 2 months saying, hey, we sent out your part for...
Which is one of the qualifying questions of how much is tool maintenance going to be?
Again, normally it's built into the part price, which if they're able to do it in-house, it is. It's built into the part price. It's part of their overhead. So that's nothing. You shouldn't see a check or a bill come across your desk unless it's a larger repair.
Let's talk about specialty repairs that sometimes they just can't happen in-house. And I'm talking about a cracked core, something's going to have to be welded, something's going to have to be machined, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically anything that needs to, you're going to have your ejector pins break and small stuff like that they can do in-house. You're probably not even going to hear about it. I always try to keep my customers aware of something in case it becomes a problem over time. This specific ejector pin is breaking every run. And that's just kind of just to keep notes. But if you have a monster repair where you're, I don't know, like you said, a cracked core, doesn't happen hardly ever, but I've seen it happen. You're either looking at rebuilding a tool, or maybe you can repair it in-house, or you can have somebody repair it.
Or maybe like a limp along until you get a new mold made.
Yeah, but those types of situations, you're going to see a bill, and then you just ask for a
Unless
couple.
it's on the molder.
Yeah, seen that happen.
Chains break.
Not my molder.
The other thing I've liked over the years is, again, we've talked about the colorant guy, we've talked about the labs that we've used. That has stayed consistent. I like knowing who your suppliers are and where stuff is coming from. It helps us, talk through our product with customer service and customers. Like we know where our raw material comes from. It's U.S.-based material. We love it. We know that all the quality control and the testing and everything is done within a couple hours drive of you. We've been able to also visit those facilities, which has been huge. I mean, we're very, very hands-on company. We want to see stuff. It's part of our validation process.
I wouldn't even say you're hands-on. You just want to validate everything that I'm saying, which you should.
Yeah.
And I always try to do, like, once a year, just get some suppliers and some customers together just so they can intermingle, talk over things, and just so there's a personal aspect of that, because they're working together indirectly, but it's very direct at the end of the day. So it's good.
Well, it also helps us from our side with innovating new products, because hey, I was talking to the supplier. I know that this is available now, or I've seen this in another application that's similar to what we're fixing to do. Let's reach out and get the tech specs, or whatever the case may be, to see if that's even an option for. Well, I mean, it has helped us develop new products.
Yeah, like, holy crap, you can do what?
And that goes to why it is also so nice to visit during some of this vetting process your molder from time to time, because you get to see other products out of industry and be like, oh man, that's a great idea, and we could import that over to our stuff.
Yeah, we can take this aspect of this part and put it into what we're doing. And I always make it a point to say, man, look at this stuff. This is a cool process that we're doing.
It's nice to see other colors. It's nice to see other textures. For me, it was a big thing.
Yeah. And I just think I like think tanks. I just have a mind of, not an engineering mind, but an entrepreneurial mind. And I like talking about that stuff and getting other people involved. And, it very rarely leads to something where it's like, oh my God, I've been looking for this forever. But it's like, hey, just so you know, we can do this, and this is how we're doing it on this part, and this is why. This is the application that it's going into. It's just, they're fun conversations. I love those conversations. And as we talked about, like when you bring somebody brand new into manufacturing to see how the whole process works, it kind of goes hand in hand with that. It's like just educating people on what's out there.
Well, this kind of wraps this one up. I would think that for this, if I had to conclude this, if it smells like a fish, it might be a fish. Use your gut check. Do check in with your suppliers. Look for consistencies and look for inconsistency. If something's weird all of a sudden, or you can't get a hold of somebody, or there's been a major change, it's okay to ask questions.
Yeah, I encourage it. Always ask questions. Stop in. Give them a day's heads up so they can't do anything crazy. Just say, hey, I'm going to be in the area tomorrow. You mind if I stop by? If they hesitate and say, oh, I'm pretty busy, I
would think that if they gave you a very specific, oh man, we do have this other client,
or I'm out of town,
yeah,
and that'll happen.
But if it happens every time, yikes.
I would say keep them on their toes just a little bit. It's good for them. I always encourage that for I've done it on purpose for a couple molders, where I'll just, hey, we're stopping by tomorrow. We're gonna come talk to quality, see how things are going, just to keep them honest and keep them on their toes.
Well, that's going to tie us into our next one, which is when to price check your molder.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see you next week.